Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through my AFL fantasy team reveal for round 19 of the season, in which, we've got quite a lot of guys out that we got to fix up. We comped, a low score, a potential test, a test potential out in row Z, and then also 2 injuries or / suspensions, of which they're confirmed outs in Cherry and also Martin. It's extremely bad trading into Martin, which was just, horrific in the end. But anyway, let's jump into this video and fix this mess up. So, as you would have seen from my review, round 18 review last night, I am ranked 12,044, and let's try and fix this up. So obviously Nick Martin and Tristan Cherry have to go. We don't have the savior of being or having that extra man that we do in Supercoach. So these guys got to go. And I wish I did have an extra like 50, 60k and hadn't gone Martin. This would have fixed a lot of things up. Or if Martin had played out even just a semblance of a full game and had dropped to sort of 1.1 million flat, that would have saved a lot of things, because it would have meant that I could have, in the end, I'm pretty sure, gotten to almost a Luke Jackson area, which would have been a lot better. But it is what it is there. I could potentially go like a Rowan Marshall to a Darcy Cameron, and that would get me close to Luke Jackson, but I'm not exactly sure if that would get me on. That would be 140k. I'd be probably about 10k short of Luke Jackson. But do I really want to go Luke Jackson at this point? It would have definitely helped last week, because it would have meant that I would be able to get a forward in, and then other things this week, which would have meant that I probably would have gotten in, probably would have got Luke Parker in, as well as trading out someone else, etc. But anyway, I digress. So, in the end, I decided to go for Luke Parker and Rowan Marshall. There wasn't many other options that I could go for. Like Luke Jackson at 1.016. When he actually isn't rucking, you look at the numbers and it's sort of just like, he'll put up a 90 here, 90 there. And it's sort of like, do I really want those sort of 90 scores, or do I want someone that's just going to go big and have the potential to go big? And I think Rowan Marshall is that type of guy that can go big. He's got Geelong this week, Melbourne next week, and then North and Richmond. Obviously, they could take Max Heath out of the side. I don't think they will, but they could in the near future, which would help him out a little bit. He also did struggle against Sydney, 13 hit-outs. He did come up against Brodie Grundy, who's the hardest ruck against, if my memory is correct. Let me just quickly go to that. Defense first position, last 5 games, I think you'll find, even last 10 games, that Brodie Grundy is one of the hardest. Minus 9.68. He does have Melbourne in the next little bit, which is also a really tough matchup. Sydney are minus 25 in the last 5 games. I don't think they've had any injuries to concern with there yet. Just Rowan Marshall well down, minus 41 on his. Even Luke Jackson and Darcy minus their 35 in total there. Minus 31 here, minus 23, minus 24. So in the end, pretty much every ruck that he come up against is, 25 is probably generous. It's probably closer to about 30 that they're in the last 5. Brodie Grundy's been there. And then you've got Melbourne in the last 5 is minus 15. Minus 15. And that's mostly due to Tristan Cherry having a stinker and Vicentini and Sweet being pulled early. But I don't think he's going to be as bad, to be honest with you. I think that's going to probably be around that minus 10 or so in the long run. So that's why Rowan Marshall is sort of there, is because outside of that one matchup here, and if you put 20 on his score anyway for the likes of Sydney, which is still 90, 100 area. If you then look at basically every other, because he just got absolutely dominated in that, it's probably more, as we said, more closer to that 30 range, which is 100 on the dot for just a net neutral matchup. Then if you look at the run that he's got coming up, he has got, in the next couple of weeks, he's got Geelong, Melbourne, North Melbourne. If we look at that, Geelong are, at the moment, a +5 team. North Melbourne are a minus 19, but we know that they're going to go to about a +10, +15 because Cherry's out. And then he's obviously got the Melbourne matchup. And then after that, he's also got Richmond, Essendon, and GWS. If we look at that, Richmond are at the moment. Where are they? They are a +3 matchup. Essendon are a +6 matchup. That's probably only going to get better when they, if they actually just rest Goldie. And then he's got GWS, who are a +6 matchup. I just want to see with, and even with the likes of a Briggs back, it still looks like it's a decent matchup there for anyone there. So I could see him, if he can basically get through the Melbourne matchup of Gawn unscathed, he's probably going to score really, really well for the remainder of the year. And even if the likes of Max Heath also just get dropped from the team, then we're probably going to see the likes of Royal Marshall go even larger. So that's why I've sort of taken the risk on Royal Marshall, because I think he's coming up against matchups outside of, he's basically got probably, in all, I think he's going to go 110 throughout the rest of the year. It's just this one matchup here against Melbourne that I'm a little bit concerned about. But aside from that, I think he can go large. I think the Sydney game was just a little bit of a shock. If we actually go to player summaries and go to Marshall here for a second, let's actually just look at it and his numbers here. And if you actually look at the game against Sydney, toggle quarter by quarter, you will see that he had a horrific first 3 quarters and then actually decided to turn up. And that's when he got the CBAs. I'm guessing this was, the CBAs went up and he went to 86% in the last quarter against Sydney. And so, I'm not too concerned about it yet that he just had a bad game against Sydney. Brodie Grundy was dominating. And so, I think he's going to be a guy that he's done it. He had 86 here and 89 here in these games and went went 46 and 50. So I think he just gets back to his best for this all week against Geelong, where if we look at him against Geelong recently, if we look at the numbers here, 118, 141, 118, 131, 142. If we go back to these games and look at them, you'll see here in this game against Geelong, he had 74% ruck time and went 142. He had 64 this other game. If we go back to this, I'm pretty sure we looked at this yesterday as well. This Geelong game, he went 118. He had a 95% ruck time. So he had quite a lot in that game. And then the other games against Geelong, 141 on 82% ruck time as well. So, I think it was just a combination of things that meant that he was a little bit down, and I'm not too concerned about it. I think that he bounces back against Geelong, where he basically he's had a 131 on 21 hitouts against Geelong before. So if I actually look and try and find that 131, was it 130? When was that game? It was round 23 2024. So round 23 2024, one game that I just missed. 21 hitouts, 1 goal, and he got still to the 131 based on 19 kicks, 9 handballs, 7 marks, and 3 tackles. So he just can easily rack up the non-disposals, which I think is something that he definitely did lack on the weekend. And one of the reasons why he didn't score so well. But I think this weekend he'll be able to do a little bit better. And also I think that the way Grundy does ruck, it does limit, I think the way that they can really score against him. It really does limit Marshall. So against the likes of the more athletic ruckman in Geelong, which is where he will score well. He probably won't score well against Max Gawn. But then he'll probably score well again against, North Melbourne, because they've got no one. Richmond, I think he'll beat Nankervis around the ground. And then Essendon, because Vicentini, I think, is a jumper. And then you've got GWS as well. He might struggle against GWS a little bit, but I think he can beat Briggs around the ground a little bit more. But anyway, I think that's about it. Parker, this was basically there was no other midfielders that I could, forwards that are in a decent enough position that I could get to. And anyway, for North Melbourne, LDU and Wardlaw potentially coming back, but I think that they will cop attention, and I don't think that Parker will. And I think he can just score, hopefully get that big score in him. But knowing me, knowing how this year is going, he's probably going to drop like a 40 or something. But sometimes you just got to try some things. And he's going to be, I'm just copying injuries left, right, and center. I think I've got 4 injuries in the last 3 weeks or something like that. So plus also the just injury/suspensions, I should say. Plus also just Rosie playing out. I haven't even traded him, so that would make it 5, I think. Potentially someone else as well that I didn't trade out, etc. So yeah, just copying injuries left, right, and center, and just trying to get through to the end of the year. But anyway, that is the video there. Brody Grundy, VC, I think that's obvious. Captaincy material. There isn't really much, to be honest with you, for captaincy. You could go, honestly, you know what I am going to do? I can't actually do that because I don't have him in the side. I was going to VC Lockie Whitfield, but I don't have him in the side. Brisbane against Western Bulldogs. Brisbane, is there anyone there? Against Western Bulldogs. Bontempelli, you could probably VC there, but I'm probably just going to VC a Grundy because I know that that's going to work pretty much. And then after that, you've got Carlton against Melbourne. There isn't really anyone there that I like. Richmond play West Coast Eagles, which doesn't help, to be honest with you. And then you've got Geelong, St Kilda. How does Jack Sinclair do against Geelong? I should say 114 last time out. Opposition stats, 87 against them. Wangani Malira, could he cop some attention? He averages 90 against them. And in the early season against them, he went 101. Harry Sheasel, he plays against Sydney, so can't go there. Dane Zorko plays beforehand. Rosie's in doubt, so can't go there. Nick Dacos against Fremantle. He copped Wagner there last time out against them and scored a 67, so not going to touch that. Caleb Sarong, what did he go against Collingwood last time? A 91, so don't want to touch that. Zach Butters has Hawthorn, and you'd expect them to put some attention into him, but he plays earlier. Zach Merritt plays really early, so I wouldn't be touching that. Then you got Bailey Smith. He plays St Kilda. What did he go last time against St Kilda? He went and didn't bother playing against them last time out, so you could potentially go there. That could actually be an option. He's gone 94, 98 last couple of times, so potentially an injury cloud over him. I'm going to go Bailey Smith there for the captaincy option against the likes of St Kilda. And so I don't know who I'll probably VC, to be honest, Lockie Whitfield against Essendon. But yeah, that will for Supercoach. But that'll be the video there going through the captaincy and vice captaincy alongside the trades for round 19 of the AFL fantasy season. If you guys did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video, which will be my tips for round 19. Bye, guys.